Hey guys, what's going on today?
Hey Scott, not a lot, thank you. Hi Jamie, how are you?
Andy, everybody, hello. Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday. Thanks to everybody for taking time out of your day and joining us. This is the Trading Studio. I'm Andy, that's Jamie and Scott. Let's get started. Before we do, uh, we need to go over the disclaimer. So you regulars, just bear with us, I should say. We are a content publisher here at Trade Ideas. Okay, nothing that you see or hear should be construed as investment advice. Okay, we're just providing some education and training, but we'll be talking about some stocks and some different strategies and things like that. But just keep that in the back of the mind that if you are looking for any type of advice, just seek out a registered advisor or a stockbroker. All right, agenda for today. We're going to have the market recap, some weird kind of couple of green bars today, man, just kind of jumped out of nowhere at me. I don't know if it's because we're going into the jobs number tomorrow or what, but uh, some crazy price action. We'll talk about that. Holly recap, man. Holly had another really good day today, and I think Jamie will show you a few of the good trades there. I mentioned three of them on the agenda here. The Goff, Newmont, and FSLY were three really good calls from Holly, and there were a couple more mixed in there. A new alert, and the reason I'm going to show you this, I call it pocket knife, and it's designed to be a contrarian strategy. In other words, it's a short strategy when stocks pop up, maybe going to highs, but running into a key moving average. This brought to my attention because I've been able to really short Tesla well over the last few months, and this is kind of the concept I am using. So I thought, why not just develop an alert and share it with the others, so they may get some good ideas from it as well. And then today we'll get back to the price alert games. We passed last week due to time, but you guys have your price alerts. Be thinking about a stock that you've been maybe looking at, and we will share all the alerts with everybody else, and we'll have a little game and announce the winner next week. The fun little game, and not only that, everybody can get some good ideas. There's some really good traders here at Trade Ideas, not only the people who work here, but a lot of our clients. So we do appreciate all the participation, and please just look for a stock and give me a stock and a price. I'll assume it's a long unless you tell me it's a short, and I'll remind you of all this going forward. All right, before we move on to the content, let's go over the education and training and support that we do have here at Trade Ideas. We're very proud of it. We have a test drive coming up next week, and these afternoon schedules that you see will not be for 2 weeks. We won't be having our afternoon webinars. I'm sorry, but we just have so many people that take these test drives, and we're so busy that we're just too exhausted at the end of the day to work out content and work on an afternoon webinar. But you guys probably need a break too, and I know we do. We will be doing, it won't be called the support webinar, it'll be called the Trade Ideas support webinar, if you will. And I believe it's going to be in the same time slot, but don't quote me on that. You will get an email reminding you that all the people on the test drive. And it will be available to everybody, I believe, in case you guys want to come. If not, just come by and we can always give you a link for that. But normally we do these afternoon webinars. We encourage questions. Okay, it's a great place to come, to ask questions. We will have content to present, but we do want to answer any questions that you might have. So feel free to drop them in the questions panel. And getting back to the support webinar, these are our normal support webinars every day, Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. And once again, I think it's the same time slot, but I don't know for sure. So we'll keep you updated on that. And like I said, emails will go out with the correct time on there, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But normally you'll come at 12 Eastern time to trade-ideas.com/live, and this is the best place to come for your Q&A. Okay, it's a great venue because we do have a desktop sharing. We use the live stream, the YouTube live stream. So we have a Q&A, a question panel in there, along with the video, so you can ask questions and we can demonstrate it for you. All right, I'll save this one for Scott. Let me back out here and we will dive into the market recap. And if I can grab this, I should do. There we go. Let me get my little epic pen going here. I think I was on top of things today. I already have it. Well, you can look at the SPYs, and let's look at the intraday first, because it was, this is what we were looking at. We started out, opened up basically a little flat, looked like we were going down, breaking some key moving average on the daily. I'll show you that in a minute. And looks like we were headed back down again, and then out of nowhere, on not real volume, you can see there the volume's not that impressive, right here on these two moves, but nonetheless, we just had a couple of big bars there, and then we kind of bled off the day. Looked like we may kind of settle off, maybe finish flat on the day, and lo and behold, we had another nice push there into the close, and that is, of course, the intraday. Now let's take a look at the daily. And you can see what I was talking about there. It looks like we were going to finally, maybe break through that 20. We were already through the 10-period moving average. And boy, just like clockwork, it seems, over the past 12 years, we've been seeing this. Boy, somebody comes to the rescue. The bulls, buy the dippers come to the rescue, and we push this higher, back now near all-time highs. And crazy action. I was telling the guys, I've never seen, price action like this, just, out of nowhere on low volume, pretty much, except there at the close. And yesterday was kind of the same way on the spiders, or the day before, was it? Yeah, we had a big excuse me, volume bar on that day as well. Let me get a drink of water, guys. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, it's let's take a look at the Qs. I don't think the Qs and the IWM are quite as strong as that. You can still see they're still below their, way below their 10 and their 20. Did have a nice bounce there to close on highs on the intraday as well, but didn't even take out yesterday's high at all. So definitely strength in the SPY versus the Q. And you may ask why that is. Well, all you have to do is look down here in my sector analysis, and you will see there's a lot of gold, a lot of materials in here. You got basic materials doing well, gold doing well. What else was doing well today? Oh, the oil stocks have been doing well. So that has been your leadership the last few days, and it continues. And that is why you're seeing maybe the SPYs showing a lot more strength than what you're seeing in the Qs. Now, we all know this could rotate into something totally different tomorrow, and you got to be prepared. But right now, that seems to be where the strength is. IWM is kind of the same way as the Qs there. Not a lot of strength in the small cap land either. So pull that up, and you can see it does have a nice long tail on it, but still below its key moving averages, the 50, the 20, and the 10-period moving average. So Jamie, I think everything can change tomorrow as far as, maybe the jobs numbers. I'm assuming, I don't even keep up with that anymore. It is jobs numbers tomorrow, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I haven't been staying on top of the macro metrics as of late like I should. Everybody's more concerned with the Fed and well, we'll just call it the Fed show for now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if you don't have much to add, to the overall market recap, you can take it over. It's probably a lot better stuff to talk about in Holly than this market recap.
Sure. Let me go ahead and grab it. And yeah, lots and lots of Holly stuff today. And as we've been talking about, when the market is up in these lofty levels, finally we're putting in some type of, well, you could call that consolidation, but as Andy was pointing out, got real bleedy around that 20 period, but managed to stay above it. So not too far from all-time highs. But having said that, when this little period first started, made it real hard for the AI to seek out that statistical alpha. And she strung a couple of good days together in a row. But for a while there, it was kind of hit and miss. Good day, bad day, good day, bad day. Seems like it's getting a little bit more traction now. So as you can see from the blotter, I'll just go ahead and extend it on down. Got the strategies down here too. Quite a few strategies made the cut for today, and amazingly enough, with the transactions that we had, which let's just count them up over here on the channel bar, 9 from 1.0, 2 from 2.0, and 8 over here. So we got a total of 19 signals today, and 2.0 kind of just flat on the day in conservative mode, but boy, Neo doing its thing, and 1.0, the hero of the day, with the largest point total. Everybody just keep in mind that the totals that you're seeing over here are based around trading 100 shares of each trade, whereas the numbers that you're going to see in my columns are based around risking $100 per trade. All right, so having said that, the three things that we typically look for in the Holly content: any spread between conservative and moderate profit, and of course we do have some of that today. Secondly, on some of these trades, were there good add-on opportunities? And lastly, were there any good trade arounds? Trade arounds are typically going to be focusing on the stocks that got stopped out. And you can see down here, we did have some stop hits. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and look at a trade around for now. Avid, one of the early trades, this one coming out. We did have a double signal in Avid today. One from pullback long, one from breakout long. Of course, the breakout long was the first one. So here we have the AI calling the buy signal 25.52, little jerk down to 25.01, and boom, it was over before it began, basically. I don't know where my exit time went here. My columns have been disappearing on me, but it was a pretty quick stop out on the Avid. And then, of course, right back up above, never came back down to that stop area again. Not a whole lot of time to react. Matter of fact, let's just go. I think this all happened in the, it's going to be pretty much the same with the 5-minute candle. Just boom, boom. But then you can see, snap back above that original entry signal, chopped around for the day, and finally finished stronger. So not the prettiest trade around opportunity. Let's cruise down here and take a look at K. Okay, K a little bit more conducive. I'm just going to flip back over to this longer time frame here. K a little bit more conducive for what we look for in trade arounds. Once again, very quickly came down here after we got this close right here. Could have, went ahead and taken a stab at that trade, get a little bit better price than the AI, or right back up to the original entry signal. Good news is that 10 period kept it pretty much going in the direction that we hoped it would for the remainder of the day. So pretty decent trade around opportunity in K. Not a lot to write home about. Let's go ahead and take a look at conservative versus moderate spread. And the first and most obvious one is the one in golf. So not too shabby of an entry signal coming right here at 48.17, and then we just get what everybody typically hopes for in the trading game, little immediate gratification. Never hurts. Notice the shaded area and the reason that the AI closed the trade out. It got up to that profit target right here around the 49.15 area pretty darn quickly, and then boom, she was out. Target hit, conservative mode, but boy, look at that spread. Well, let's call that 200, 680, so another $480 on the table, and all we had to do was just be a little patient and let the trade work out. But of course, once the entry was made from Holly, profit hit, not too shabby, but then a very long and, well, that's just it, a very long consolidation pattern. Typically, once the AI makes the signal and we get some sideways action, looking for that opening range break or that secondary pattern to unfold, and it happened on golf. It just took its sweet time, not occurring until pretty late in the day, right over here, okay? but that would have been a great time. Stock was strong all day, 10 periods in control. Volume is where we want it, closing close to 7 on the relative scale. But this would have been a great opportunity right here to go, you know what? It's been strong all day. It's been acting well. I'm gonna take a little bit more right here at the $50 level, and then boom, you would have gotten a nice little push going into the close for hopefully extracting some of that conservative moderate spread there. Basically, you would have achieved that by, well, if you took the whole lot with Holly on the profit target, well, could have made a reentry over here, or just stuck with maybe the half and half. You know, whatever the conservative reason is for the exit, follow half with the AI, keep the other half. In this case, a break-even stop at that blue line would have kept you in the trade for the remainder of the day. Now, NEM, nice profits, but not any conservative moderate spread there. We did have a little bit in Fastly, and Andy was just talking about that one. A short play, okay? Looking very similar to the golf trade, just going the other direction. And it's kind of interesting today that these add opportunities or these range breaks occurred very late in the day on these two stocks, where they typically occur a little bit sooner than this, but hey, every day is a little bit different. So a real nice entry initially up here at 49.41. Trade does exactly what we hope it would do. Takes its time throughout the day. Once it breaks this range right here, could have added a little bit more to that position, or just stuck with what you got. So not near as big of a spread in Fastly, only 75 bucks, but hey, we'll take what we can get. But once again, presenting us with a nice add opportunity later in the day. Now, a couple more of these trades. One thing I wanted to point out that I probably failed to do on the golf initially is I was talking about this opportunity to add, but we're going to shrink it back down to the 5-minute period because there was one that was earlier. Okay, so notice we had the entry signal here, but what was looming was this previous high here. So it's always a good idea once you see the trades playing out, once you see the entries made and you can identify the high and the low, right? Whether you're a candle body person or actually using the wicks, that's a personal preference. But you know, this level became of interest to me once I saw Holly in the trade, thinking to myself, well, seen this time and time and again, if it gets back up here, it might be worth adding, okay? Now this one took a little bit of time because at this first add opportunity, we did take a little pullback here, and then as we just discussed, it took the remainder of the day, but not too bad because look how it would have ended up if you took more shares there. Notice the triggered time, 9:33. So let's find that 9:30 candle. There it is right there. Let me just put a mark by it. It's this guy right here. Oops. Well, I cannot draw with these things. It's this candle right here, okay? Matching up with that execution time. Like I said, you would have had to sit with it for a little bit, but that just seemed to be the nature of most longs today. Some went up immediately. You know, sometimes you had to sit a little bit of a red before you got to the green, but all in all, this add-on opportunity, not to mention the Holly signal, yielding 2 points into the close. Mercy was another good one. Not a huge spread between conservative and moderate profit. Holly pulling the plug right here on a profit save. Looked like a pretty good exit at the time. We just kind of crept back up, left a little bit on the table, but not too bad of an exit. You know, would have rather had it up here, but it looks like she got it about right there. But same song, same dance as far as setting that price alert goes. Here's the original signal. Here's the wick marking the high. What might happen? Seen this time and time again. So set that price alert, triggered at 10:03. This is the 10:03 bar right here, 10 to 10:05. So once again, this one going immediately for a very nice add-on opportunity in the MRCY. So the best way not to miss these is just to set those price alerts. Once you see those signals come out, you're thinking to yourself, we've seen this over and over again. Jamie talks about it all the time. You just go ahead and set that price alert. That way you will not miss these add opportunities as that secondary pattern plays out. And once again, volume nice and strong in the Mercury, finishing it right about 4 on the relative scale. So here you had, you know, just out of these 3 trades, 3 add-on opportunities, which by the time the close rolled around, we're good for 5+ points in addition to what we see up here on the Holly blotter. Now, Andy, we do have a little bit of spread in Sun, a little bit of spread in WLL.
I wouldn't.
But
Yeah,
I don't want to eat up
that.
all your time here. But boy, some really juicy totals going into the close today, and some really good ad opportunities just by seeing those entry signals, marking off your lines, setting some price alerts, and today just on these 3 trades would have paid off handsomely in addition to what we see here.
Real quickly, Shanta had a question about, could you please give us the total invested and the profit today with the AI? So just kind of show how you got your allocation for your share size and what you would risk on each trade, and just real briefly.
Sure, I can show you my risk methodology here by going to Tools, and we go to Options. Just cruise on over here to the AI trade sizing, and you can see here I'm using risk-based stop, just saying regardless of the symbol, want to risk $100 in case that stop gets hit. Then the system will get you into the appropriate amount of shares according to the $100 risk and the stop that's being used. Of course, we could use the more traditional methods. We could say a certain amount of shares per price, or we could say a certain capital allocation or dollar allocation to each trade. So we could say 5,000, 10,000, 2,000, whatever your preference is. But all the numbers on my screen are relative to risking $100. Now, as far as the capital required, the buying power required to be in all of these positions, we'd have to take the share size that you see right here and do the math, and then arrive at the amount of capital required to be in those positions that way, because it's not really readily available here. So I hope that helps.
That does. That does. Yeah.
Unless, Andy, unless we've added buying power column or exposure, which I probably could add that column, but we'd still have to tally it up there, right?
Yeah.
As far as knowing how much buying power, and then of course you were in some, and you were, some positions were open, some positions were closed, but we probably could find the high water mark as far as buying power goes there. But on that topic, when I had this question in the support webinar earlier, if I wanted to automate Holly, what kind of account would I need? Well, you'd obviously need one that wasn't subject to the pattern day trading rule. So the broker dealer, universal law on that from FINRA is your account cannot fall below 25K.
All right, that's a good answer. So theoretically, Shante, I mean, I guess you could argue that if he's risking $100 per trade, and there's 19, the most risk is obviously if all of them went to a stop would be $1,900.
Correct, and that is different than how much capital would have been
of course,
required to be in the positions. Correct.
Right.
All righty, let me kick it on back to you here, Andy.
All right. All right, so yeah, and I don't know how relevant this is in today's market, but you know what? I'm not going to say that, because there has been some great shorting opportunities in this market. Okay, you just got to be careful shorting the major averages, because it seems like with this rotation that we have, trying to short the SPYs or the Qs and IWM over the last few days, there was some opportunity there, but there's plenty of opportunity in stocks. And one of the ones this year that I have traded probably better than anything is Tesla on a short side. And let me kind of zoom in. Let me actually bring it out so you guys can see. All right, so let me get my little pen here, and I'm just going to briefly try to show you areas where I've shorted Tesla, right about there. Okay, and I missed this, but I shorted it right up here on the fast line right there. Nice little trade. I know I shorted it 4 times this year already, and I'm thinking the other one was probably, I remember came back from vacation. It was right in here somewhere. But I recently took one on this green bar. Okay, right. I mean, this is kind of scary for a lot of people, shorting something on an up day, but I caught it right there. I can't remember the exact price, but I did cover half today. I'm still in half that price, but you can see the concept here. Okay, I'm not chasing lows. I'm not waiting for things to break down, and then short them. It's really dangerous, especially when you're in a bull market, because the bounces can be ferocious. Okay, so you want to kind of fade up moves when you're shorting. And so what I wanted to do is to work with you guys today on building an alert that will alert us when stocks may be getting to this area uh, where you might want to think about putting on a short. So let me tell you what I did here. So what I did is I thought about Tesla and where I shorted it recently, okay, which is at 4:30. So that was on the 30th of last month is when I took it. So I pulled up stocks like this, and to find it, just type in stocks like this, and you may have to put in trade ideas because I think there's some other things out there that are probably paying good money. And you just put in a time frame. Okay, you put in a time frame. I put in Tesla Friday, April 30th. That's the day I shorted it. The start time is subjective. It's wherever you want to, put it. I put mine at basically 1:30 Eastern time, pretty much the middle of the day. I kind of just wanted to find out, what I'm looking at daily alerts, so it's not a big issue to be precise on when these trigger. But I wanted to see what it looked like on the daily, and then I wanted to, find the metrics that were important to me. So let's go back and look at Tesla on this day. So what metrics are going to be important to me? Well, I want to find it somewhere around a moving average. Okay, in this case, I'm using the 20 period moving average. In some cases, if you could try this using the 50 period moving average. Maybe I'll do that next week and see and compare the two and see what they look like. But I like using the 50 period moving average. And also, I wanted a stock that has kind of moved up and maybe on the other side of the mountain. So in other words, I don't want to find things that are near all-time highs. No, I want something that's maybe have already kind of broken and then it's bouncing up and I'm fading these bounces. But you got to be careful where you do this. Okay, you want it to be for me, I want it to be kind of under some moving averages, key moving averages. I wasn't crazy, not going to short it on this day, just shorting strength. No, I want to see some weakness and then bouncing up into that weakness. We call this the pocket. A lot of times you've heard Steve refer to that. We used to have a guy we traded with, and he would say, I'm going to short something in the pocket. So this one is definitely, it had bounced back on this day and it was in the pocket. So that's what I was looking for. So things that are important to me, I want something that's not near its all-time high, or just say, let's say a yearly high. I want something that's kind of maybe in the not lower range, but at least maybe 20% off its yearly high. Okay, the 20-day range was also important to me. Okay, I want something that's in the lower part of its 20-day range, much like the yearly range. I wanted something that was in the lower part of it. Okay, you can see here the 20-day range position in. Let me go find it. I'm sorry to be all over this. These things are hard to find sometimes. Position in 20-day range is right here. Okay, and you can see this Tesla is at 46 max, 44 during this 5-minute time frame. So I know it's in the lower portion of its 20-day range. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see something about to break out of its 20-day range and just short it. Position in year range, you can see it was at 75% max. Okay, so we know it's nowhere near its 52-week high. Those things are important to me. And the other one was position from its 20-period moving average. Okay, that's the metric I'm using. That's the key filter that I want to use. So what we want to do is go to change from, they use different, change in let's see, Jamie. I think it's called change from 20-day SMA. That's what it is. There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of
Change.
wacky because
Yeah,
sometimes
it
these are
is.
parts of these are in alphabetical order, and then
I know.
kind of jumps around.
It does. And sometimes they use distance from, and then we use change from, it's kind of wonky. But here's my change from 20-day SMA. You can see right here, it's 0.5 and 0.8. So I would rather find something a little bit closer than that. Okay, so I'm sure if I went to maybe later in the day when its stock continued to move, it got closer. So we're going to kind of bracket it a little bit closer. We're going to find these things that are pretty close to that 20 SMA. So I think I have basically all the things I really need to create an alert. So what we're going to do here, let's just do this together. We're going to launch a new alert. Okay, and best thing to do is always start from scratch. Okay, and we are going to use a new high. Okay, remember this is a contrarian strategy. We're going to take things that are hitting a new high and we're going to fade them. Now I recommend doing this with small shares at side, especially when it comes to shorting. Okay, you guys heard about the elevators up and the stairs up and the elevator down. You can get some pretty big moves on the short side, so don't feel like you have to get real aggressive with size when it comes to shorting. So keep that in the back of your mind, but we're going to use a new high. This is going to be, like I said, a fading strategy. Okay, and we're going to come in here and set our normal parameters. Let's say price over $5. I'm not going to use a max. One thing I do want to use, all right, since I am fading, I want it to be up on the day. Okay, I want the stock to be up, not making a move into that key moving average I was talking about. So we're going to at least say the stock has to be up 1% on the day. All right, change from 20-day SMA. Okay, this is one we're talking about. We're going to bracket this so it's at least close to that. And I'm going to use negative 0.05. I use this one a lot when I'm bracketing key moving averages. So in other words, this is a kind of a tight little bracket there. So any stock that is moving up and up over 1% in the day and it's hitting its basically 20-day moving average, we're going to get signaled. That's what I want to see. Okay, I mentioned the position in year range. Okay, we do not want it anywhere near all-time highs. I think Tesla at the time was right around 75. So we're going to come in here. We're just going to use 80. We're going to put 80% at the max. We don't want to miss some good ones. And then the other one was position in 20-day range. And what we're going to do here is let's come in here and let's just put 60. Okay, I remember Tesla's was around 50, but we'll go a little bit higher just so we don't miss anything. And I think, we got to put some average volume in here. You know what? I'm going to go for thicker stocks too. I'm going to put 1 million shares. It's not a lot, but it has to do at least 1 million shares a day. Okay, when I'm shorting stuff, I want there to be some liquidity, so I'm going to use 1 million shares here. Average daily volume over 3 months. It's going to filter out a lot of the noise and a lot of the stocks that don't trade a whole lot of volume. All right, I think this is pretty good. We are going to add some columns. Important columns to me is change from the close. I always want to know how much it's up or down on the day. Relative volume is always nice. Maybe if you see something coming through and it's doing, huge relative volume, maybe you don't want to jump in front of that freight train. So we're going to add some relative volume here. Let's see what else we're going to do. Let's do volume in 5 minutes as well, just to see when it comes through if it's doing big volume in that 5 minutes. And position in, let's do position in year range. Just throw something else in there. All right, and since we are calling this a pocket, we're shorting something into the pocket. Let's give it a little clever name like.
Andy, are we going to call it hot pockets?
You know what? I thought about that, but I'm going with pocket knife.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, we're going to call it pockets. We're going to cut somebody with this. All right. first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to see if it's working. Okay, so I can take this first one right here, Osher, and you can see right there, this is working. We got the signal right here, right when it was touching its 20 period moving average. Now, guys, I'm not telling you to go and just put this in a raging bull market to put this to use, but there's been some occasions, even in this market, I'm going to show you here in a minute when we look at these, where this thing has really performed well. Now, I'm not even going to think about back testing it. It's not going to work right now in this bull market for as far as a back test goes. You know, if this market starts to break down and maybe we get some weakness and we get into like a bear tape for several months, this would probably work very well. But still, I think you're going to find some opportunity in this thing. So what I want to do, what I always do when I build this, I want to go back to that date, right, that we just looked at, April 30th, and see if Tesla was in there. Okay, if you're going to use stocks like this, you want to make sure you're pulling up the right stuff. So let's go in here and let's go to history, and we can go to time frame. All right, and you can see I've thought I had this already set, but that was on another one I was working with. So we're going to put it on April 30th. All right, and we're just going to set it at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's okay when you set these things. If you're using something like a new high alert, you can set these as early as you want to, because it's not going to report except during live market action anyway. Since it's not a pre-market high, it's just a regular new high. So I'm going to set this on the 30th as well and put this at 4 p.m. That's okay. So we got 30th, and let's click OK and see what we got. And I already see Tesla in there. So you can see here, Tesla did work when it got up here to the 20 period moving average. So you would have been notified in something like this. Let's take a look at some others on this day. And I would recommend probably not looking at the ones real early in the morning, but we'll take a look at some of these. Look at that Fubo right there. Boom, hit it. And look at that, roll over. So you can see something like this can be very advantageous for those who like to short. Look right there, signal, 20 period moving average on this day, and had this maybe a little bit of pain there, but look what happened after that. So I know this is going to be ugly because I was long it and got out. Luckily I got out quick enough, but yeah, that went lower. Snow. Look at these guys. They're one after another. Okay, a lot of people are buying this stuff, you know, chasing these green bars, where you're looking at the overall big picture, and you can be putting on a fade right here. Boy, you got paid on that one nicely. Workhorse. Look at that, one after another. There's Tesla. We just looked at that one. Boy, not a whole lot of losers on this day. Boom. That looked kind of nasty though, big old wick up there. When I see wicks like that, I kind of stay away. Paya. See what's happening here? Now, see, in a case like this, you know, I built another strategy that looks for the reversal, you know, after this happens. This is one for those who are bold, who are playing the big picture, who are playing for a multi-day hold and not a day trade. This is where you can be kind of on top of your game, all right, and going against the crowd and fading some of these. Gosh, Jamie, I hadn't really found one that hadn't worked yet.
Yeah, that's looking good, Andy.
Yeah.
Daywin was asking what the red line, the horizontal red line on the chart is. I
On my
guess they're
intraday
referring
here?
to if you look at the daily, you see that little horizontal red line up there.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
because you're using new high as the alert,
right,
correct?
right. So what happens is when you're using our new high filter, okay, our technology creates a what we call a resistance line. What it does, it finds the next high and marks it out for you. So anytime you're using a new high, it's going to show that. Like when this alert went off, there was the resistance. So basically it just shows you the next level of resistance, which, you know, could be advantageous in using this, because you could not only are you hitting the 20 period, you can look up here and see the resistance well, obviously, if it's just yesterday, it's easy to see, but sometimes it can go back maybe even a couple of years and find it. So this is, you guys can see this is working. Like I said, all these alerts that were in this, that maybe some of these ones in the early morning. Yeah, that one hit it right there. That, and it kept going for that. Eventually worked, but this is not something I'd want to use right at the bell. I would probably not even start looking at this thing till probably around 9 o'clock or 30 minutes after the open. But you can see that it's very, it works. And this is in a like I said, a bull market. You can still find things like that are just running right into resistance and rolling over the key moving averages. But when you're a short seller, that's how you want to do it, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if you get into a nasty bear market, where everybody's just selling everything, the farm, you can chase some momentum down. And there's actually some stocks, that have earnings and news where you can actually chase a little momentum. But when it comes to just regular short selling, I would much rather prefer, this fading strategy, going against the grain, contrarian, if you will. But so that would work. So, all right, let me share this, and I'm going to put it back on real time. And I am going to save and share this so you guys will have access to it. Pocket knife, save and share. And then we'll do some price alerts. And I'm going to drop it into the chat window, guys. So just go to your GoToWebinar interface and find the chat. Pocket knife, almost forgot my name there. And there it is, guys. So you have access to it. And for those of you guys coming who may not have the software yet, what I'm able to do is I'm able to share this cloud link, and people will immediately have access to this this alert window. All right, very good. Let's dive in and do some price alerts. All right, so here's the game. If it's your first time, okay, what we want to do is we want to give me a stock and a price, and I will set that price alert as a long unless you tell me otherwise. Okay, if you want to do a short, Joanne, I need a price if that's your price alert, or if you're just asking me about it. All right, Paul is on the board with, put in Paul, Zim, Z-I-M, and at 40 bucks. Okay, we will stick it in there at 40 bucks then. All right, who's up next? Amazon at 33.13, Joanne says. Let's bring them in, guys. We 33. Oh yeah, looking to buy that dip. I like that. 33.17. That is a nice strategy, Joanne. I like that. It was, I bet you it was in my pullback. It'll come through my pullback alert over here too. So that is Joanne. All right. PIBY. George, is it something else? Oh, wait. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome. PIBY, I'm not getting anything on that one, George. Oh, PL, I'm sorry. You threw a little L in on me.
Playboy again, huh? Boy, that thing.
I think he went Playboy last time. He's hooked on Playboy. Okay, what price? I see it, 56. All right, we'll throw it in there. Okay, 10.
Did we get our pay?
Oh, wait. RPay, no, let me get that. Thank you.
Yeah, our pay from Bill.
Okay, and that's at 38.
38.20
30. Whoa, wait, you're way up there.
or 21.
Oh,
2160?
2160.
Yeah.
Ah, I got you. And that is Bill. 10. Tennessee Toddy, all legs and no body. Let's see. Stan G at 1143. Ah, okay. All right. Mike. Okay, got a short here from Walt. He wants to short OKTA at 236.90. Okay, so he's going to fade it. Okay, so I gotta put short. Price rises, and that is Walt. I think I did that right. Let's see if it holds. Yay. VRAY. Okay, it's already trading at I just finding something on that had earnings. All right, he's gonna go in at
510.
510. All right, we'll throw it in there since it's not trading there. I'll give you that. Okay, Ime wants lows at 206.35. Boy, this home builders and material stocks have been just crazy. And it's Ime. All right, we got where are they all going? Oh, they're scattered. Okay, let me do a created column real quick. Columns created. The heck? Okay, there they are. All right. Is there a way we can get information of unusual option volume like option flow? We're probably not going to have nothing. Let me show you what we have on options real quick. Okay. And if you have the product or taking the test drive, all you got to do is come in here, search, put options. And this is the stuff we're going to have on options. So we're not going to have any strike specific stuff. It's just going to be, you know, put call ratio, option volume, contracts. My favorite is option volume percentage. You know, I like to see that percentage, you know, tells me that something's going on. I just don't know which direction it's going to go. But yeah, that's the stuff we have there. All right, let's see. MMM from Dimitri. And that at 30, what? Oh, my bad, NMM at 33. Okay, where did that one go?
The NMM?
No, Dimitri's. I got everything sorted by
Yeah, he was in double M, correct? Dimitri.
NMM. But
Give it a sort by symbol real quick. There it is.
okay. Wonder why it's not grouping them together under. It's weird. Under created. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it be
sort one more time by created. You got to scroll up. You got to sort, and then you got to scroll up.
scroll up?
Yeah, see your scroll bar. See, you go all the way to the top.
Oh, what? Oh, that must be one of
Ah,
the old ones.
yeah. It wasn't scrolling. It was sorting, but not
Oh,
scrolling. Yeah.
oh, okay. That was must have been looking at old ones. Okay, so these are the new ones. All right, perfect. All right. Is it Daywin or Darwin? Pins at
Pins. Yeah.
6110. All right. All right. I got a few players today. All right. Let me make sure I got everybody in here. It looks like it. All right. We got a nice, it looks like about 10 players. All right. Uber. Randall gets in Uber at the very last minute here. Let's put this one, and that's going to have to be it. I'm going to have to bring in Scott to walk us out of here. So Uber at 50. Looking for a bounce in Uber. That is Randall. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, let me share these real quick. All right, and I'm gonna drop those in the chat panel as well. I'm just gonna call them PAs, price alerts, and there they are. You guys get those, and probably gonna find some good ideas in those. All right, Scott, I'm gonna bring in Scott, guys. You guys hang on. He will offer you a discount if you don't want to wait for the test drive and want to dive in now.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Andy. A couple items on the way out. Go ahead and grab that ebook about earnings. Tradeadeas.com/earnings is the place to go. Get it delivered to your inbox. It's got some cloud links that you can import into your layout to go ahead and add that to your routine. The test drive starts this coming Monday. It's one of our most requested events that we do several times a year. So go ahead to tradeadeas.com/test drive, learn more and register. Try out all of the premium Trade Ideas features for 2 full weeks. Just go ahead and fill that out. We've also got a podcast. Trade Ideas Podcast is the term to search for. Just find that on your favorite podcast app. Get the newest episode that we uploaded a couple weeks ago, and then check out the archives and be ready to get the next edition that we add. Maydays is a code that'll save you 15% off your first month or year of any Trade Ideas subscription or upgrade right now. So go ahead and do that if you want to get active. And you can find Steve on Twitter at TISteveG. We also have at QuantBot and at Trade Ideas, and Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook page to find and like. And go ahead and send any of your questions to info@tradeadeas.com. It goes to our help desk, gets you the help you need. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Jamie. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see some of you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.